What's up guys, Peter here from Reviews on Anything, and today is going to be a very good day. I've been doing this review thing for the past 3 years now, and along the line I've seen a lot of good products, some great products and a few bad ones as well, but every once in a while a little gem passes by, and today is one of those days. We're going to look at this. This is a box of course, but inside there is a chef knife. Now when it comes to knives, obviously there is endless variety out there, for every budget, for every material preference and for every task. Pretty much whatever you can afford, there is a knife for you, and whatever task you might have in the kitchen, there is a specific knife for it. Today though, we're looking at something truly special. When it comes to high-end knives, obviously effectively the sky is the limit. But this is pretty much pushing that limit a step further. This is a seriously high-end piece of kit from a company called Sternsteiger here in Germany. This is their top-of-the-line knife. It's a chef knife, as you'll see later. That is way out of reach for your average customer, but certainly if you demand the utmost performance of your knife in the kitchen, then this is the choice for you. We're going to take a closer look, do a little quick unboxing, but obviously we're going to take it to the kitchen and do some chopping as well, because this is such a unique piece of kit that I can't tell enough about it, but I obviously have to show you on camera as well. Now this is quite a piece of kit, even disregarding the price, or even if you know nothing about knives, when you look at this, sitting in its box like this, you know this is something special. And this certainly is. Taking it out, you have the finger grip here. You have the full knife, the tip protector is still on it. And here you are with this beautiful piece of engineered steel. Really, really nice. The weight in the hand is obviously something I can't really tell you on camera, but it feels so solid in the hand right away, all the way down from the handle here through the blade. It's awesome. The details are great. You can see the texture here on the steel. Obviously it's smooth, but you can see the layering. We got the Sternsteiger logo up here. It's just an awe-inspiring piece of kit. Even before you take it out of the box, even before you've made a single cut, this is something special. It is, in the end, still just a knife though, so it is still very utilitarian to be used in the kitchen. It's a chef knife in the traditional sense of the word, traditional shape, so it's an all-purpose knife, something that you'll use as your main knife. Obviously, you'll be able to cut anything from fruit and vegetables to meat, you name it with it. It's an all-round, all-purpose knife. So we're going to obviously take it to the kitchen, see if we can do a little cutting, give you a bit more of an impression and a look on how it feels in the hand and how it actually feels on the cutting board. Alright, and now for the hard part of this video, I actually have to show you in some way how awesome this knife is to cut. Which obviously is its main purpose. It's an 8-inch chef knife, so it cuts stuff, pretty plain and simple. This is your all-round kitchen knife, but a knife in this category, in this price range, obviously has to deliver a lot more as well. Talking about specs, it has a G10 handle, it has a VG10 steel core with 67 layers of damask steel. So, just based on that, it's going to be awesome if you know anything about knives. Those are seriously high-end specs, and this is a seriously high-end knife for that matter. So it is going to cut stuff, and it's going to cut stuff really well. I'm going to show you a few things here that I'll be cutting, just to give you an idea of how it looks on camera, I suppose. The main thing I hope to tell you and show you maybe a little bit in this part of the video is the feeling that you get when you're using a knife like this. Now obviously this knife is crazy sharp, and you might think, at some point, sharp is sharp, it's all the same. If it's sharp enough to cut something, it's sharp enough to cut something else. But with a knife in this category and with this much tech specs in it, the sharpness is truly on another level. I own pretty high-end knives myself, and you really notice the difference there already between, let's say, a knife from IKEA, a good knife, a better knife, and a high-end knife that I own. But this is truly on a new level of sharpness and a new level of smoothness. It comes with the steel, obviously, it comes with the handle, it comes with the way the knife feels in the hand. It's heavy, but it's not super heavy. It's heavy in a way that you feel confident using it right away. The same thing with sort of the thickness of the back, the spine of the knife. It is nice and thick, it's confidence inspiring the way you hold it. When you hold this knife for the first time, it's like shaking hands with an old friend. It is so comfortable and so nice in the hand that it's just confidence inspiring from the word go. And actually the weight, the balance, the way the knife looks, the way the knife feels, even before you've cut a single thing, you already feel that this is something special, and you really feel that this is something properly engineered, properly thought out, and proper quality. Now I got a few things laying around here, as you can see, some mushrooms, a meatball, some tomatoes, a bell pepper and a cucumber. I'll be cutting a few things just so you get an idea of how it looks when you're cutting. Obviously the knife is sharp, throughout the whole blade, no question about that. And the way this slides and glides through anything that you're cutting is just almost beggars belief. I wouldn't say it's a religious experience, but as let's say a knife enthusiast like me, by no means a professional chef or anything, but somebody who knows what it is to use higher end knives, this is just, it puts such a large smile on my face every time I pick this knife up and start cutting with something. So obviously cucumbers like this, no problem whatsoever. Let's move on to the bell pepper. Take the inside out first. Now the good part about a knife this sharp is that you can be precise with it. Some people say that a sharp knife is dangerous or anything. Absolutely not the case. With a knife this sharp, it is completely predictable in what it does. It's completely reliable in where the knife is going to go, in where the cut's going to be made, and there's absolutely no surprises in terms of how it will respond to your input. Obviously, if you are being dangerous with it, or if you're not paying attention, this knife is going to hurt you for real. It is so sharp that if you look at it from the wrong angle, you're going to get cut. Happened to me on a few occasions as well. This is a knife you have to be careful with because it is so sharp. But then again, this knife is aimed at, let's say, at least a semi-professional chef public, so they know what they're doing for sure. But it is a knife to be treated with respect. It is that sharp and it is that good that you don't take any liberties with it, as in you're just chopping away without looking. Now, as you can see, peppers here, no problem. You can cut as thin or as big as you want. Don't have to worry about angles really. It really works pretty much in any direction. Same thing with tomatoes. Now often you want to use a serrated knife for this if your knives are not sharp enough. But with this you can make the smallest cuts, no problem whatsoever, as thin, as light as you want. Not squashing the tomato in any way, shape or form. The knife just glides through, silky smooth is probably the closest way to describe it. Now if you go to something like a mushroom, it is hard to cut sometimes because it's a very tricky sort of structure in it, but same thing here, no problems going through it. Again, super clean cuts, you can be super precise with it, as thin or as thick as you really want to, no problems whatsoever. Even if you go a little bit faster, same thing, same precision, you really know where this knife is going and what it's doing. So the danger for your fingers is actually small as long as you're taking proper care of what you're doing. Now we've got a meatball here, which is done already. You could say I'm making an omelette, I suppose. Same thing here, super clean cuts. You can make it as thin as you want to, easy peasy. It just glides through. Again, silky smooth, no problems whatsoever. You apply a little bit of pressure and the knife just works for you. This truly is a tool that works in harmony with the hand that's using it. You ask it to do things and it'll deliver every single time. Now the ergonomics of this knife are without question almost perfect. And I say almost because for me personally there is one thing that I don't like, and that's the little corner here on the bottom of the heel of the knife. Personally I grip my knife like this with a pretty deep pinch grip, which means that the corner here digs into my index finger. Not much of an issue because you can work around it by moving it slightly inwards. But I prefer to hold the knife here, and that means I'm going to get poked, which is not very pleasant. So it requires, for me personally, a slight adjustment in how I hold the knife. And that's my only point of criticism. Actually, at this point, I would have liked to have seen a sort of a rounded edge here that allows for a bit more flexibility in terms of gripping the knife over there. Alright, conclusion time. What do we make of this Uber knife from Sternsteiger? Well, that pretty much covers it. This is the Uber knife from the Sternsteiger lineup. This is such a high-end piece of kit that it's probably not attainable for your average consumer. Price-wise, first of all, but second of all, this is so sharp, so well engineered, so over-engineered almost, that this is obviously really aimed at professional chefs. If you're a really happy amateur cook like me, you can still get a knife like this, obviously, but this is really aimed for professional usage. You might have noticed in the video that I didn't really talk that much about tech specs, and I tried to talk about how this knife feels, and that is really the big thing with this knife. From the moment you open the box, the moment you first touch it and you first hold it, this is a total experience. This is a knife that puts such a big smile on your face, especially my face, every time I used it. Every time you chop anything from an onion to a potato, it doesn't really matter. This knife makes you feel so happy, and the experience of having such a high quality piece of kit, so sharp, so well balanced, so well weighted in your hands is just such a joy, and really sort of enriches your cooking experience. And I can really imagine if you use this on a daily basis as a professional chef even, this will certainly put a smile on your face every time that you use it as well. It's beautiful. Obviously the way it looks, you know, should be inferior to its function, but this is such a beautiful knife that I'll be happy to have this on display in my kitchen without even using it. But the functionality of the knife is fantastic. It's beyond what you can imagine a knife is. Sharp isn't just sharp. This is a whole new league of what it means to have a sharp tool in your hands. It's fantastic in the way it feels, the way you use it, and sort of it glides through pretty much anything you can cut, and really the word is effortless. This is really a fantastic technical exercise, but also a fantastic design exercise, I think, combined into a fantastic functional package. And it really is an uber knife. This is as good as it gets, as far as I'm concerned. So Sternsteiger, fantastic. Yeah, it really blows my mind, this knife, which is, you know, maybe weird to say, because in the end it's a knife, it cuts things. But if you have a knife like this in your hands, you truly feel the difference between this and a 500 euro knife and a 50 euro knife. It is such a variety in the spectrum of knives, and this is such a high-end product all the way on the extreme side of the scale, that this is certainly worth the money if you can afford it, obviously, and if you need it, as far as I'm concerned. If you're just looking for something to chop your onion in the weekend, this is certainly not the knife for you. Like I said, this is really aimed at professional usage, or people that have, you know, such a passion for cooking that you can actually justify spending this much money on a knife. If you do, however, this is going to put a smile on your face every day, guaranteed. This is a fantastic product to use. It's been an amazing few days to test it, and it's really, I think, a testament to the engineering and the design that Sternsteiger puts into its knives, that it's able to manufacture something truly amazing like this. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it is really a gem that passes by every once in a while, and this is certainly one of them. This was Peter from Reviews on Anything with a look at the top of the line knife from Sternsteiger. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel, that always helps us out a lot, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers!